Welcome to Youth Connect. I'm Aiden.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Joshua.
I'm Jeffrey.
And welcome to our Youth Connect. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another amazing episode of Youth Connect. For those who don't know what in the world Youth Connect is a news, interest, entertainment show that's created during the pandemic for the community, by the community. I know you've heard it time and time again, but I always want to say we are all advocates of all abilities. And as broadcasters and entertainers, we want to be included in opportunities for acting, directing, writing, music, and so much more, and even be speakers. You know, did you know many of us already have podcasts and YouTube channels and even websites? We are very much professionals as we do in our work. So please do check us out if you ever do have the time. But guys, Youth Connect is a show that I know that you are going to love. If you heard, my co-hosts are Kevin, Joshua, Nibras, and Jeffrey. But the first things first, we always have to start off with some gaming news. Okay, guys, so what is first on our list? First on our list is that we always have to do our video game of the week. Now, what is video game of the week if you don't know? Well, basically, it's a game that is coming out, has released recently, or is coming soon. So, what game do we have? Today, we have something that I've been following for a long time. And if you remember, guys, I actually talked about it before. So, you guys better be excited for this because today's game of the week is Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. So, why am I talking about this? Well, Kirby is once again going on his 1-4 platforming adventure across planet Popstar and helping a strange alien that has come from another world called Magalore. And you must help Magalore rebuild his ship by collecting all the gears all around Popstar. You can float and fight along with your friends on the same system as you could control Kirby, but also you can do different colored Kirbys. But if you're not feeling being the little pink puffball, you have iconic friends such as King DDD, Meta Knight, and of course, our favorite boy, Bandana Waddle Dee. Trust you me, guys, I'm the biggest fan of Bandana Waddle Dee, so it's always great to see him back in the role. Now, what makes this Kirby game different from the rest? Isn't this just a remake of the original? It is, in a way, but it always has some extra stuff. Let me remind you guys that if you've been watching the Kirby news, you should know that the new one ability is the Mecha ability, which is like a robot that can punch. But Nintendo has released a new power-up called the Sand ability. So now we have the Mecha and we have the Sand ability. We have two. How interesting is that? And it looks like it's going to be a ton of fun to use, including 20 other great power-ups returning. If you know, Kirby's Return to Dreamland has a iconic super abilities. If you can inhale glowing enemies, you can wield a powerful ability that will send enemies flying and pave the way to the next area. And as a bonus, we also get sub-games. Now you can travel from Planet Popstar to the Merry Magoland amusement park. Play a colorful collection of sub-games and collect stamps for your stamp rally to earn in-game prizes. And you can share the fun with up to 3 friends on the same system. And if you know, I talked about this last time, is that we have an entire new epilogue of Magalore. If you guys know, Magalore is one of my favorite Kirby characters, so having an epilogue for him is absolutely fantastic. But do note, the only way you can play the epilogue is that if you beat the main story. Anyways, guys, this is Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. I hope that you guys check this game out because I will be definitely checking it out today. But anyways, though, next up is Kevin for some all-important news.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Youth Connect with me, Kevin Aruja. For now, let's go to our headlines. Toronto mayor by-election set for June 26. The federal government closely reviewing Ontario's healthcare reform bill. Google tests blocking news content for some Canadians in response to a government bill. and Siakam's 26 helps Raptors top Pelicans with a score of 115 out of 110. A by-election to replace former Mayor John Tory has been tentatively set for June 26. The by-election date is still subject to the City Council declaring the office vacant and passing a bylaw requiring a by-election by its next meeting on 29th of March. In a release, city officials acknowledged the clerk would not ordinarily fix or announce dates and events of council meeting to bypass the bylaw. But they said the clerk considered to be in the best interest of the city candidates and electors to announce the applicable by-election dates as nearly as possible. There had been some speculations that the special meeting could have been convened up to the vote, but Deputy Mayor Jennifer McKelvey said earlier this week that she wanted an election done as soon as possible. City staffs needed time and preparation to prepare for what will likely be the biggest by-election in Canadian history. The estimated budget for the mayoral election is roughly $13 million, the city said. The federal government said it is closely reviewing the Ontario's new health care reform legislation that embeds in private clinics. In a statement, Health Minister Jean Deves Duclos said, and the government shares the concern of Canadians who wanted to protect and strengthen the delivery of public health care. The legislation in question in Your Health Act allows independent clinics to conduct OHIP covered surgeries and diagnosis procedures, including MRI and CT scans, as well as eventual knee and hip replacements. This legislation outlines how the provincial government will license these for profits and not for profit clinics, while also establishing an oversight body that will be responsible for safety and quality standards. Google is blocking some Canadian users from viewing news content in what the company says is a test run of potential response to the Liberal government's online news bill, also known as Bill C-18. The Online News Act would require digital giants such as Google's and Meta, which owns Facebook, to negotiate deals that would compensate Canadian media companies for publishing their content on their platforms. The company says Wednesday that it's temporarily limited access to news content for other 4% of its Canadian users as access as possible responses to the bill. The change applies to its search engines as well as Discover features on Android devices, which carries news and sports stories. All types of news content are being affected by the test, which will run for about 5 weeks, the company said. That includes content created by Canadian broadcasters and newspapers. In sports, Pascal Siakam scores 26 points to help the Toronto Raptors fend off the New Orleans Pelicans with a score of 115 out of 110 on Thursday as both teams returned from the All-Star break. Jacob Poeltl had the double-double with 21 points and a career-high 18 rebounds for Toronto, which had won 5 of the last 6 games headed into the break. OG Anunoby scored 12 in his return to the Raptors lineup after a 9-game absence. He had injured his left wrist in a bad fall against Golden State on 27th of January. Toronto has 22 games left in the regular season. After Wednesday game, head coach Nick Nurse said he wants to make a sports postseason push in that stretch. A lot of games coming quick, and I'm looking forward to it, he said pre-game. It's a 6.5, 7-week sprint, really. Lots of games, lots of great competition. And weather after that massive storm that brought more than 50 centimeters of snow, we are settling down seasonal temperatures tonight. Saturday will bring a chance of few flurries and a wind chill of -14 in the morning and a -4 in the afternoon. Sunday also has a chance of flurry with highs of +1 and lows of -7. Snow is expected Monday night into Tuesday morning as well. Last Saturday, I had the opportunity to go see the Bloor Yorkville Ice Fest, as I've got my vault posters above my ice village. That got me thinking. That got me thinking how these sculptures were made. I did a bit of research, and here's what I found out. The ice sculptures are generally carved from blocks of ice, and these blocks must be carefully selected to be suitable for the sculpture's purpose and should be freed of undesired impurities. Typically, ideal carving ice is made from pure, clean water. While ice sculptures may appear the epitome of modern art, they have a long history dating all the way back to 17th century in China. Even though communities used ice functionally for creating shelters, 17th century was home in the 17th century in China was home to the first decorative ice creations. Ice sculptures will inevitably melt. How fast, but how this happens can be reduced by keeping the sculptures in colder space and away from direct sunlight and heat sources. The sculptures can last for longer. Ice sculptures use all the power tools and like guide bars and chains, electric tools, and many more tools to sculpt. Using these tools can be dangerous, however. The most dangerous is working for long periods in the cold temperatures required to maintain a temperature ideal for ice carving. An ideal temperature for ice sculpting is 15 or 25 degrees Celsius. With my interesting fact on ice sculpting, we come to the end of my segment. Now I'm sending back to you, Aiden.
I gotta say, I looked a little bit onto that Ice Fest, and that looks like a ton of fun. I wish I knew about it because I definitely would have checked it out, especially as being an artist. And you know what? I saw, but it takes a lot of work to get that perfect ice sculpture. My goodness. Now, for everybody else, what did you guys think of Kevin's news?
I thought the ice sculpture was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
I saw it, guys. There was like buildings made out of ice and horses made out of ice and animals made out of ice and cool Back to the Future entire Mandalorian car or Mando car.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It
you can
was-
expect that from a small stuff to big stuff they can make from ice. It's amazing. Just love the story.
You know what? It takes a lot of effort because guess what? Ice sculpting is an art form. And you know what? Art always takes a lot of work. Thank you so much, Kevin, for your news. And now it is time to move on to our second gaming news. So if you guys know, there is a series called the Classic Mortal Kombat series. It has been going on for many, many years. But if you guys know, and if you've heard with your ears, if you're a big fan of Mortal Kombat, do be warned. We are going to be getting a Mortal Kombat 12 because it was officially announced and it's coming very soon. It has been quite a while since there has been a new Mortal Kombat game, let alone a new NetherRealm Studios fighting game. The studio has been alternating between Mortal Kombat and Injustice for a few years, but it appears it will be breaking that cycle and will instead do 2 back-to-back Mortal Kombat games. The last Mortal Kombat game, Mortal Kombat 11, was released in 2019, almost 3 years ago, or 4 years ago now. Dear me. And the studio has been silent on what the next game will be for a while. Outside of vague teases, some hoped it would be Injustice 3, including myself, because I enjoyed Injustice. That fighting game was absolutely amazing. Kind of had a good storyline to it. But unfortunately, we will be getting this awesome new Mortal Kombat series edition. Now, I hope you guys are ready for it because Mortal Kombat was officially announced by Warner Brothers Discovery during an earnings call. So technically, it's kind of like a leak, but it's also not a leak. Much to everyone's surprise, it was confirmed that the game will be coming later this year. That means it's going to be coming very, very soon. We haven't seen any trailers for Mortal Kombat 11, but I know my sisters are big fans of Tekken and the fighting genre, including Mortal Kombat. So I cannot wait to see what Mortal Kombat 12 has in store. Anyways, though, this has been your second gaming news. And now, next up is Joshua with some good story news and, of course, your very favorite animal news.
Good afternoon. Welcome to You Connect now for a good news story. Senior with no car finds $15,000 and returns it. Strangers around the country are rewarding a Michigan woman for her honesty after turning in nearly $15,000 cash that she found at a gas station to the police. It turned out to be the contributions of guests to a pair of newlyweds who were more than overwhelmed by her integrity. 65-year-old Diane Gordon has been walking over 4 kilometers to and from her job behind the deli counter every day since her Jeep broke down and she didn't have enough money to fix it. One day, she decided to stop at a gas station for a snack and noticed a plastic bag. Inside, there was a lot of money. Turning it around, there were some greeting cards and a lot more money. Just doing what she was taught to do, the grandmother of 2 called the police, who sent an officer to take custody of the sum. Gordon could have walked into any dealership and driven something off the lot that day. But she knew it wasn't correct to take it because the money wasn't hers. Police Chief Dan Keller of the White Lake Township Police Department telephoned Gordon later that day to tell her they had used the information on the cards inside the bank to track down the owners. The happy couple was overwhelmed by Gordon's honesty as Police Chief Keller's wife, Stacy Conwell set up a GoFundMe. In just 6 days, it raised 4 times as much money, and she has found in the sealed bag that morning because people wanted to reward Gordon's act of selflessness. Gordon said she was stunned by the outpouring of generosity, which raised over $82,000. On February 8th, friends of Diane wrote that Diane officially signed her new Jeep Compass at a dealership in White Lake Township. It's a beautiful story that shows more often than not, honesty pays. Now for another good news story. 23-year-old Rose soloed 3,000 miles across Atlantic and setting race record for female. A 23-year-old woman from East Yorkshire, United Kingdom, just set the Telesur Challenge record for the fastest solo row across the Atlantic. Departing from Canary Islands near Spain and Morocco on December 10th, Maureen Payne rode 59 days, 16 hours, and 36 minutes before arriving in Antigua in the Caribbean on February 10. The extraordinary feat was accomplished to raise money for the charities called Well-Being of Women, as well as Hull and East Yorkshire, which more than $14,200 was raised. The event was the Telesur Whiskey Atlantic Challenge, described as the toughest endurance event on Earth. No support is allowed. All food, water, and other necessities must be brought along. Sleep deprivation, hallucinations, hunger, and the ultimate test of body and mind will be balanced by seeing incredible marine life, witnessing the breaking of a new day and sunsets that cannot be viewed by land. Payne rode 15 hours per day alone in the vast Atlantic Ocean during 30 degrees Celsius days with strong winds. She spent Christmas Day rowing, and during parts of the journey was closer to the crew on the International Space Station than to anyone else. Congratulations are in order for her, as she has just set the race record for a solo woman for such an extraordinary challenge. Now turning to animal interest news. Bride has Zoes walk down the aisle with her ringberry pet tortoise. Veterans Erica and Jay Johnson first met while doing a wild tortoise survey 20 years ago, so they felt it was only right for their beloved Sulcata tortoise called Tom Shellick to be part of their wedding celebrations. Strawberries were dotted down the aisle for the almost hungry tortoise Tom to follow before the pair tied the knot last year at a botanical garden in Arizona. The mom of one said that everything ran smoothly, and Tom the tortoise even became the center of attention on her big wedding day. Photos captured show the 20-year-old reptile creeping down the aisle, following a trail of fruit while wearing rings on a floral basket attached to his shell. Erica said the only thing we were worried about was if ladies had pointed toenails, he'd look at them and think they were fruit. Maybe get off track and buy some toast, but fortunately that didn't happen. Erica said it took around 3 minutes for Tom to get down the aisle, while it took everyone else a matter of seconds. Still getting him in the right direction was easy. He eats mostly hay and dry things like that because he's a desert adapted species, so he's not supposed to eat a lot of fruit. But since he loves strawberries so much, we knew it was a surefire way to get him to go down the aisle. This is Joshua Show reporting for Youth Connect. That's it for me. Now I'll send it back to you, Aiden.
I gotta say, Joshua, $15,000 to bring back, you know what? That is a lot of money. But you know what? Kindness is always, and I mean is always rewarded. You know what? True honesty is always the best way to go. And I gotta say, for that tortoise, that is absolutely amazing. I don't know how they could do it. I feel like I would have to wait forever for that tortoise to be there. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. I'm like, oh my gosh, the tortoise is moving so slow. Is he going to bring the rings yet? But you know what? These are such great stories. And for everyone else, what did you guys think of Joshua's news?
I think the animal news is good.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Same
it.
here.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely the animal.
Wait, but wait, I have a question.
Sure.
Did they give the family the Guinness World Record for the slowest walk?
I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. I feel like something might break that world record easily. Maybe the world's slow as Ring Bear.
Yeah, maybe.
That'd be cool.
Thank you so much, Nibras. And thank you so much, Joshua, for the news. Now, guys, we're going to move on to my third gaming news. And if you know, for my last gaming news, we always have to do the board game of the week. What is board game of the week? Well, it's similar to video game of the week, but it's a board game. So how much fun is that going to be? Today's board game is Revive. Ooh, what kind of game is this? Well, guys, you're going to have to revive civilization. It has been 5,000 years after everything was destroyed. You must lead your tribe and explore the frozen earth. Harness its resources, recruit service survivors to your cause, build factories with powerful machines, and populate ancient sites to relearn your tribe's forgotten technologies. Now, this game is based on rebuilding off of a kind of like an ancient snow age kind of future. And you know what? Revive is a game that is for 1 to 4 players with asymmetric player powers. And it is highly variable setup. And there's no fighting. Guys, if you guys want a game without any fighting, Revive has no fighting and no direct conflict. So that means you're not fighting against anyone. All you're doing is that you're working together to rebuild civilization. There's no who's better and who's the best. You're working together. So you play through a 5-part campaign and unlock additional content along the way. And once all content has been unlocked, the game can be replayed indefinitely forever. Ooh. The main goal of the game is to populate the large ancient sites. These ancient locations are randomized, and as they are important sources of victory points, they will shape your strategy differently each game. I love a game that's kind of based off of this future wasteland, ice age kind of thing where you're rebuilding it. And it's a game that requires you to not fight each other for resources. There's no direct conflict. You're working together to build civilization as a team. And I love those types of games. If you ever check out this game, make sure to send a comment down below to tell us how you thought of it, or if you have a game or a board game selection or suggestion that you would like to give to us, because we always want to hear from our fans what kind of cool things that they have in store for us. Anyways, though, this has been your last gaming news, and next up we have Nibras for some entertainment and podcast news.
Hello, everybody. How are you guys today? My name is Nibras Khan, and I'm your host for the entertainment news. Let's get straight to the top story. And our top story is about. So, this one's an interesting one, right? You'll be excited about this. So, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is bringing the beloved Nintendo franchise to cinemas in April. Chris Pratt's in it. Chris Pratt will be doing Mario's voice and everything else. We have already seen multiple trailers teasing the animated adventure from Nintendo and Illumination. However, a new poster for the film is here to announce the date for the film's final trailer. The Super Mario Bros. Poster features Mario, Chris Pratt, Peach, Anya Taylor-Joy, Donkey Kong, Seth Rogen, Todd, Keegan-Michael Key, and Cranky Kong, Fred Armisen, driving along Rainbow Road while avoiding bombs and spiny shells. Each character is piloting a vehicle from the ultimate popular Mario Kart video game franchise as floating islands and stars hang in the sky. The poster is another example how far Nintendo and Illumination are willing to go to make Super Mario Bros. Movie a colorful romp through the Mushroom Kingdom. So the new trailer for the Super Mario Bros. Movie will be revealed during a Nintendo Direct scheduled for March 9th at 2 p.m. PT and 5 p.m. Eastern. Directed by Aaron Hoover and Michael Janik, collaborators on Teen Titans Go from a screenplay by Matthew Fowler, the Lego Movie, to While the World Awaits on the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Nintendo is munching on super mushrooms and growing its brand in the film industry. Yes, did you guys know Nintendo acquired Dynamo Pictures in July of 2022? Yes, to establish a CG animated company, Nintendo Pictures. The Nintendo plans to adapt more of Nintendo's IPs. Nintendo has yet to reveal what other properties the studio intends to adapt. If you're unfamiliar with Dynamo Pictures, they have worked on projects like Ghost in the Shell and Resident Evil franchises. While Nintendo has yet to reveal any potential plans for the studio, fans and me and other fans may eventually see adaptations of The Legend of Zelda, Animal Crossing, and Luigi's Mansion. Are you excited about the Mario movie? I am so much excited. So the movie is gonna come on April 7th, 2023. So about about in 2 months, and I'm so excited. Been a fan of Super Mario. I know Aiden's a really big fan. A lot of my co-hosts are. I'm so excited about this film. So now to my second story. So my second story is now before I go to my second story, I like to get the fact of the day. And today's fact of the day is, drum roll please. Did you guys know that Australia is wider than the moon? Yes, the moon sits at 3,400 kilometers in diameter, but while Australia has a record of diameter from east to west, it's almost 4,000 kilometers. What? Wait, so does that mean Australia is bigger than the moon? Wait, I'm not understanding. Yeah, but it's true, right? I also did not know that, but the diameter is bigger. Australia's diameter is bigger, but yeah, it is a very confusing thing. But anyways, did you like that fact? Did you like that fact of the day? If you did, comment down below. Now to my second story. My second story is about a podcast. So the podcast is Desert Island Dishes. Yes, host and chef Margie Nomura interviews a guest each episode about dishes, foods, and those most important to them. She interviews restaurant owners, television host, author of famous food books, and much more. Gets away from, like I said, a TV host and restaurant owners and more. But all share passion for cooking. So they talk about food, they talk about how it's made, how it's presented, what's the history for food is, and much more. So I love this podcast. So the podcast name is Dessert Island Dishes. So Dessert Island Dishes. So I like to listen to the podcast when I'm cooking. When I'm just bored. It just gives you so much knowledge. So now, and that's all from me. As always, this is Nebraska from You Connect. I'll see you all next week. Thank you. Kid. Back to it. I hope you like this segment. Thank you, guys.
So, guys, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, as you said, Nebraska, it has been an anticipated film for quite a long time. Everybody's been looking super forward towards it, including myself. Now, interesting thing that you brought up Nintendo Pictures. Did you know, Nebraska, that Nintendo Pictures was originally made from an original place called Dynamo Pictures? And Dynamo Pictures was most famously made for the Pikmin shorts that were kind of featured in Japan and also in the US. Now, if you don't know, guys, obviously, for Nintendo fans such as myself, this is old knowledge about these little street pass things that you would get. And there were these little Pikmin shorts that you could find on YouTube as well. So having it evolve from Dynamo Pictures to Nintendo Pictures is always great to see. And honestly, Nebraska, are you looking forward towards the Mario movie? Because I'm going to be dressed up in my Mario costume.
I'm so excited about this.
I feel like you're gonna have to dress up. You're gonna have to dress up. Honestly, though, Nebraska, thank you so much for your news. It's always great to hear some podcasts, but also your entertainment, because you know what? The Mario movie's one of my favorite things. And I bet you our watchers are going to be also super interested in it as well.
I knew you would be excited about this story.
Absolutely. Anyways, though, guys, I think our musician is ready. So that means we have to have our live music with our live musician, Jeffrey.
Hi, everybody. Hope you're ready to hear some music from myself, Jeffrey Anchorman. And I'm going to be playing an original song, Through the Darkness. How dark today is, tomorrow will capture the light. Not for a minute, an hour or day. Let it be another second to become bright. Turn off your sorrow, don't swallow your anger. No matter who you are or how dark your past is today, say no. Just remember to let it go. Tomorrow will capture the light. Get down and stand up again. Hold on to my hand, and we'll fight together through the pain. Drop like a bright color rain. All it takes is a little flash and open dash of happiness. Glimpse of highlight the darkness. Brighten our mood and make things right. We need to work together, holding on so tight. Turn off the sorrow, don't swallow your anger. No No matter who you are, oh dog. Your past is today, you say no. Just remember to let it go. Release the pain, say no. Turn off the sorrow, just let it go. Tomorrow, capture the light. It's time to step again. Hold on to my hand and move forward together through the day. Droplets of the bright-colored rain. We are, it's just you and me and everyone else. Oh, it takes a little flashing open dash of happiness. Then some highlights beat the darkness. Some bright on moon, make things right. We can work together, holding on so tight. Drop your sorrow, don't swallow anger. No matter who you are or how a dog. Your past today, say no. Turn off the sorrow, just let it go. Release the pain, say no. Turn off the sorrow, just let it go. Tomorrow, we'll capture the light. Time to stand up again. Hold on to my hand. Move forward together through the pain. Droplets of bright-colored rain. No matter where you are, it's just you and me and everyone else. It's time to stand up again. Hold on to my hand and move forward together through the pain. Droplets of bright-colored rain. Thank you, everybody. This is Jeffrey, your live musician. I'll see you all next week, and it's back to you, Aiden.
Absolutely love that song. And it's an original. It's awesome, awesome, awesome. Anyways, guys, this has been the end of our Youth Connect. So sad, so sad. But if you like Youth Connect, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And don't forget to click your notification bell.
Other than that, guys, we will see you all next time. Goodbye and have a
Goodbye.
great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.